challenging situations right from the start. That first merge was pretty hard to do. Let's see if it will let me start the ride again without putting on the seatbelt.
Heading to city center.
I've never ever driven a car in the US. Did you just see that? And I think that's legal, right? This is where the Waymo dropped me off by.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I had to reset the computer because the recording dropped out. You can see it still drives. That's one thing about San Francisco is everybody's just on top of each other.
Yeah.
And there's also like, I don't know if you've experienced the lane splitting motorcycles, but I mean, that's legal in Europe though, right?
Good parking job.
Well, not really.
This day changed my life forever. 3 autonomous rides, each dramatic and profound in their own way. First, my maiden voyage on Tesla FSD. Next, a Waymo across San Francisco to meet the legendary AI driver, who then takes us on a 2-hour deep dive through the steepest, craziest streets of the city. This isn't a highlight reel. It's raw and unfiltered, and it's going to feel like you're sitting right in the car with us. You'll hear our uncensored conversation revealing secrets not just about Tesla FSD, Robotaxi, and the future of autonomy, but far more, if you're ready for the ride. But before we start, I have to confess. I've never been to the US before, and honestly, I had no plans to. But Europe's endless red tape and anti-technological bullying pushed me to do something crazy. I flew 6,000 miles just to see what the future actually looks like. So today, you'll experience it with me, through the eyes of a clueless European trying a driverless car for the very first time.
Seatbelt, because we can't do that FSD until it's
Sure.
got your route already preset. Next thing we're gonna do is follow these instructions. We're gonna hit start FSD, that blue button
Okay,
right there.
let's do it.
Press and hold,
Okay.
and then you're gonna tap on the brake and you'll be on your way.
Okay, see ya. Okay, so it's driving already. Okay guys, so this is my first time doing FSD supervised. I just flew 6,000 miles
Van Ness Avenue.
into San Francisco. There's a truck that needs to pull through here. The car is already making space for it, and this is going to be our first right turn on Tesla FSD.
To Ellis Street.
Oh my god. I guess I'm just gonna let the car drive here, but I need to be sure that I can take over. I've never ever driven a car in the US. I've only ever driven in the Czech Republic and some other European countries. I hope that no one's honking at me right now. And you can hear how my voice is shaking because this is just a completely life-changing experience for me. Trying Tesla full self-driving for the first time ever in my life. We obviously don't have it in Europe yet. Hopefully that can change in a few months. And I don't know what to say, man. I guess I'll just be live reacting. I hope you can enjoy this POV drive with the GoPro strapped on my head. Hopefully I've set up everything correctly. And let's do this, guys. I absolutely love all the feedback you've been giving me on Robot RL. FSD seems to be a little bit losing its patience over here. Because there's a guy in front of us probably unloading their truck or something, or maybe just waiting for traffic to clear. And I don't know if people are honking at him or if people are honking at me or what's happening right now, but the car is really patient, and I just hope that FSD doesn't, disengage, and that this drive will be able to complete with 0 disengagements. Okay, the truck looks like it's backing up into us. Hopefully FSD can actually handle that, because if it can't, then I'll have to if FSD can handle that, then I'll have to shift to reverse, right? No, it's actually going forward. Oh my god. I almost thought that, like, before driving even 10 meters on Tesla FSD and getting stuck behind this truck, they're also going to, like, run into us. And I was kind of nervous that FSD didn't do anything. Like, there isn't anyone behind us. FSD is reacting really quickly and really smoothly to this guy finally driving. So I hope we can get on our way and complete our first edge case full of waiting. FSD is deciding on what to do.
Now turn right onto Franklin Street.
It's already engaging the right turn signal, going around this construction truck, and there's a stop sign over here. So let's see how we can handle that. It's giving plenty of space to the truck that's right in front of us. And now it's going all the way to the stop sign to actually, yeah, stopping for a pedestrian and for the stop sign. Gone all the way to 0 miles per hour. Is it going to do that again? No, it considered that stopping for the stop sign, and now a really challenging merge that we have to do that I would not be able to do in, like, a confident manner, but hopefully FSD can do it. Oh, it actually wasn't super polite. Yeah, this was kind of a little bit janky. We have a red light, but back there FSD didn't merge really smoothly, but this guy behind us was really nice and courteous, and he let us go as we creeped in. But maybe that's the only way to actually get somewhere in San Francisco. I don't know. You probably have to be assertive here to get anywhere. I really don't know. I'm just a savage from Europe, you know, whose only experience of driving is old medieval streets like Prague. And I'm here sitting in a robot, trusting it with my life in a completely foreign, wild city in the Wild West. The wildest, westest place you can possibly go, which is San Francisco. Green light, smooth, quick acceleration from the Model 3. And it's changing lane to the left. I probably should, like, hover my foot above the brake just in case, you know. But I really do not want to intervene if I absolutely don't have to here. I know driving a Tesla is pretty easy, but I still have to, you know, not destroy this car over here, because that would probably ruin me financially. I have, like, an okay insurance, but not sure if it would cover it.
500 feet, turn left onto Pine Street.
Not sure if my insurance would cover a destroyed car. It's driving really on the left inside this lane.
Now
and
turn left onto Pine Street.
Now it's already signaling a left turn. So far, really challenging situations right from the start. That first merge was pretty hard to do. And I've already done a few Waymo rides, and I can already see and say that FSD is just much smoother and feels more confident, more elegant, more refined. And that's just the camera-based neural net approach that Tesla is doing. No LiDAR necessary. This just confirms everything, you know. Slowing down for the car in front of us. Super elegant. And we should get to our destination in 10 minutes, if the display can be trusted. And you guys, let me know in the comments. Have you ever seen anything like this? This is my first trip to the USA, like, in my life. And I'm already doing full self-driving. Like, I couldn't pass this opportunity, and I couldn't wait for full self-driving to come in Europe, so I just came to it, you know? It feels surreal, man. Even after already trying Waymo, this feels surreal. And And Waymo was really good. Like, I wouldn't say that Waymo is bad, but this is just on another level altogether. Even the visualizations, like the 3D representation of the world, is much more elegant and refined. And yeah, right now it's pretty easy. Although San Francisco is super vertical, it doesn't really show on the camera that well. But these streets go up and down, and some of them have and even have like a 31% slope. So super challenging. It's going 25 miles per hour. This is the only video where I don't have to show you a conversion from kilometers. Maybe I'll show you a conversion from miles to kilometers, actually. Because this is my first Tesla drive. This is actually my first Tesla drive in the US as well. You guys loved my breakdown of Tesla FSD in Europe, but that wasn't my video. That was Tesla's official video that I just slowed down to 0.25x speed and analyzed. And you guys let me know which format do you like better? Me sitting in the car and giving you my raw first impressions, or me recording a route and then giving you a detailed voiceover breakdown? Because I know, you know, I'm not that good of an English speaker, so my raw thoughts can sometimes be pretty rough, and it takes me a while to get my thoughts out of my mouth. But on the other hand, it feels much more authentic, right? It feels like you're riding with me and not just watching a video with me. So gives you that emotional value, which I hope I milked to its absolute limits in this video, especially in the start.
Turn right onto Presidio Avenue.
Yeah, we're changing lanes to the right and going up this super steep hill through Lyon. And right now it's gonna turn to the right.
Now turn right onto Presidio Avenue.
And it feels amazing, guys. We've got a red light, yellow into a red. Hey, there's a Waymo. Let's wave hi to the Waymo right in front of us. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit of a competition between FSD and Waymo. We'll see. We'll see who can get there first. And guys, the Waymos and Teslas are everywhere here in San Francisco. It's a big cultural shock for me, because seeing a Tesla in Prague, while it's not as uncommon as it was a few years ago, it is still like, hey, there's a new Tesla, cool. But here in San Francisco, every second car is a Tesla. And every third car is a Waymo, you know? So it's crazy seeing these robots drive around. And with the Robotaxi network coming alive in just a few weeks from now, basically, it feels like we're something that most of the world is still just sleeping on. You know, this turn was again so elegant. It feels like I being driven by a personal chauffeur just right now. Like, I'm trying to stay ready to take over, but it's super hard because it's so comfortable. You know, it doesn't really feel like it should be necessary to take over for me at any moment. And even if I were to take over, I'm still confident that the car can do a better job than me in this new country. Man, it feels just super cool. You can't even feel the car stopping. That's how smooth the stopping behavior is. And that's something I focus on a lot when someone is driving me. And when I'm driving myself, I try to be as smooth as possible during my stops. And I can never be as smooth as this. Like, going down to 0 miles per hour here, there is absolute smoothness, like 100% computational smoothness. And it wasn't like that on a Waymo either. There's a stop sign over here. We've got a little bit of a traffic situation. FSD is being assertive, going through the intersection, and it did it. Felt amazing. Can I actually tilt the screen a little bit? You would probably have to do that in the software, right? Okay, and I have to pay attention to the road because the camera over here just saw me. Hello, I'm not driving. It's the car. Oh my God. Yeah, the camera just saw me looking at the screen too much, and the car reminded me to be ready to take over and actually look right in front of me. We've got another stop sign, 4-way street. And guys, I didn't have to touch the steering wheel once so far. So I hope we can get through this whole ride without doing that. And we're actually already in the Presidio. Maybe I can lower the temperature a little bit so that my GoPro doesn't overheat. Oh, maybe. Okay. Pay attention to the road again. Hopefully we don't get banned. Yeah. Because I can already feel the GoPro overheating on my forehead. Okay. Stay smooth. Yeah, let's just pay attention to the road. And I really like this driver monitoring approach. Feel a little bit of G-force, but not nearly as much as on the Waymo. And I'm probably gonna do a separate Waymo comparison video, because tomorrow I'm gonna do another test drive, possibly with the Cybertruck, which I've also never tried. And yeah, looking forward to that. Stopping at the stop sign is necessary by the law, so that's why Tesla FSD is stopping, but the stops are just perfect, guys. I know it can feel like a little thing and not that necessary and not that hard, but to go back to my argument, I've never felt a car stop as smooth as this, okay? Not even the best human drivers I've been driven by, and I've been driven by some good drivers, not even the Waymo I've tried yesterday. This is just perfect driving, guys. And it's ready for Robotaxi. I can already tell you that, because I'm basically unable to drive in here, okay? I don't know how to drive in the US. I don't know how to drive in California. I don't know how to drive in San Francisco, for God's sake. And I just sat in a Tesla and it's taking me on a tour around town.
In 500 feet, enter the roundabout and take the second exit.
I'm basically the first human from the public. I'm basically the
Now enter the roundabout and take the second exit.
I'm basically the first non-employee who has taken a Tesla Robotaxi ride. Because I couldn't drive through this on my own. I can promise you that. I just went through this roundabout like it's nothing.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Graham Street.
Oh my God. It's gonna turn left. I can just lean back, you know. Of course, be ready to take
Now
take
turn
over.
left onto Graham Street.
Okay, we've got a little bit of a situation in here. We gotta be cautious to these cars. Squeeze by this dude. And this is gonna be challenging because there's a bus, super wide bus. It's going our way and we have to drive a little bit into the bike lane. But I guess the
500
car can do that. You can see it on the screen.
Then your destination will be on the left.
It has no objections against going across the bike lane. And it's just doing it. And now we're gonna just turn right.
Turn sharp right onto Anza Street.
And it's gonna park itself. So let's pay attention to the parking, guys, before we go back to the Tesla shop. Okay.
Now your destination is on the left.
Let's see how it handles this destination, because I know it can park, but it doesn't park all the time. All right, it just pulls over to the side and then it reverses. Oh my God. Is it actually reversing into a parking spot or is it just... Oh no, it's going to just pull over here? What is the car going to do, man? No, it wants to go left. It's signaling to the left. No, it parked itself. Oh my God, that was perfect. Okay, let's just put the camera here and let's start FSD supervised again and go back. Just tap brake to confirm. And it's going. Speed limited to 85 miles per hour. It's not going to be a problem in here. And we're going back, I guess. Zero touching of the steering wheel. Let's see if we can make it back with zero interventions as well. I hope the camera is still recording because this is probably going to be the best video I've ever recorded in my life.
If you want to fund more experiences like this, the thanks button is right there.
To be fair, the route wasn't that challenging so far.
Right onto Lincoln Boulevard.
This is a little bit rough. This is what we have in front of us right now. There's a pothole on my left. Let's see if we go through it. It was kind of smooth. Can't feel if the Tesla actually went over it or not. And right now we have a right turn coming up with
Now
some
right onto
traffic.
Lincoln Boulevard.
The FSD visualizations are so smooth. I feel like they're at least 60 hertz, 60 FPS. Car knows exactly what to do. We've got another stop sign all way. And there's a bus which is stopping, so the Tesla knows it can go. And there's a police car ahead.
100 feet. Enter the roundabout and take the first exit.
Let's see if the police actually mind that this car is driving itself. Oh, but they probably don't, because there goes another Waymo, also driverless. You know,
Enter the roundabout and take the first exit.
welcome to San Francisco. We're living in the future here. Driverless car, driverless car, driverless car. And to hammer the point home, guys, I'm not the driver here, okay? I'm just a Robotaxi passenger. To make it absolutely clear to everyone who's watching this video, there is zero drivers in this car. I'm just sitting here. 2025, May 6th or 7th or whatever it is. Less than 2 months to Tesla's first official Robotaxi deployment. I'm already being driven by a Robotaxi. And it just feels surreal. Let's see if we can encourage a little competition between the Waymo and the Tesla. He had to stop because of the law, but it probably wouldn't be necessary. But you know, with the stops being as smooth as they are, I don't really mind them anymore. Another one. And that's the main difference between the US and Europe, is that we have almost no stop signs in Europe, and almost all intersections are being handled by either roundabouts or just yield signs. And we have like a default rule that if there's no sign, then you are giving the right of way to the guy who's on the right of you, and that's just a default rule. But if there's a yield sign, then you yield to everyone, but you don't have to stop. If there's no one, you can just roll through. And if there's a roundabout, then you know how roundabouts work. You have them here too, but the difference is that we just have them everywhere.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Pacific Avenue.
This is just great. The Tesla employee told me that I could do my own route as well, but I was kind of scared to do the torture
Now
tests.
turn left onto Pacific Avenue.
The torture test that I set up for Tesla FSD without an employee like sitting next to me, but you know, maybe after today, I'm gonna be like much more confident to actually do that. We have a really interesting traffic situation over here, and Tesla FSD just handle it like a boss. And here's the, I guess this is the 31% steep climb. Holy cow, this is super steep. You couldn't probably even go up this hill on a gas car.
Lion Street.
You have to have an electric robot just to ascend this hill for you. And now there's a stop sign here as well. And 2 cars to the left and to the right. And just the Tesla just handled it like a boss again. And look at that view, guys. This is pure San Francisco sightseeing. Steep hills, Waymos, and driverless Teslas everywhere. I hope I'm not being too obnoxious here, but I'm just so excited about doing this. And I already reached out to... Oh, there was a crow in the road, and FSD just didn't really panic or anything because of it, which is correct. But I wonder what would have happened if the crow was actually in her way. It would probably use its neural network and fly away before the car could do anything to it. But what I wanted to say is that I reached to Holmar's blog and to AI Driver, but unfortunately none of them were actually in San Francisco. Stop for pedestrian within crosswalk. Huh. We've got some signs in here that FSD is avoiding. I have no idea what all those signs mean, guys. It shouldn't be illegal for me to do this, but luckily the car is actually a Robotaxi already and can do all of this on its own. And I guess right now it wasn't like the most courteous move, because the car to the left was going through the intersection already, but FSD was just assertive. And I don't know, let me know in the comments, was this the right move? I honestly don't know. I have no idea. We have the green light, so now I do know that we can go through.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Bush Street.
But hopefully the next time I'm in the US, I can actually do a collab with one of the other full self-driving channels and do a little chat with them as well. Because that would be super exciting for me. Both AI Driver and Holmar's catalog have been a huge inspiration and proof of concept for my channel as well. Because I wanted to be the first and the best who makes full self-driving videos in Europe.
Turn left onto Bush Street.
And this drive brings me even closer to my dream of doing that. Oh, that was actually super tight left turn. Be careful about the cars to our left. We're already changing lanes to avoid them. And stopping at another red light. Taking the green light. And we'll be there in 8 minutes. You can see the San Francisco skyline in front of us. So we're driving towards the city center right now. And I've also taken on quite the American accent since arriving here a few days ago. My first impressions in the US is just, it feels surreal. It feels a little bit like coming home, because I've been consuming so much of US media and US culture that I've always felt like it was super close to me. And partly I'm just amazed by the technology that's already here and that could be in Europe as well. Because full self-driving could be in Europe today, and it's just not because of our stupid regulations. And after trying it for the first time today, it makes me even more angry that we still don't have it. Because this is life-saving, life-changing technology that could help so many people and avoid so many disasters that it's borderline criminal to block it and not allow it. And that's just so frustrating. and even more so after trying it. Because there's zero hesitation from the car. You guys have to understand that this feels like the best driver I've ever been driven by, with 100% no hesitation, no awkward moves. Well, you guys let me know about that. If the car did some mistakes, maybe like in the beginning when we were merging and turning to the right, it was pretty assertive a few times today, but I'm not even sure if those were improper or impolite or illegal moves. But no one honked at us. There's a guy exiting his car on the right. FSD wasn't really scared about that as well. There was zero, and I mean zero, phantom braking today. All of the issues that we have back home with the standard autopilot, which is garbage, by the way, at this point, all of the issues with standard autopilot are gone. This is an entirely new software stack, 100% end-to-end neural networks, the smartest robot you can get inside the car, seeing all over with 8 cameras and driving you around. And when I tell you that, you can say like, yeah, see, it feels pretty good. That must be a pretty good ride. But until you sit in the car and try it, you know nothing. And I can tell you that because I've seen hundreds and hundreds of FSD videos.
Turn right onto Van Ness Avenue.
No videos from AI Driver prepared me for how it would actually feel to sit in the driver's seat for the first time and not drive. And you can't even do that on a Waymo. Anyways, you have to sit in the passenger seat or you have to sit in the back. With a Tesla, you just pop the belt, sit in the driver's seat, and drive on your own. And now I'm being pretty anxious about how we'll get back to the Tesla dealership, like the last few meters of driving today. And I'm curious if FSD can do that as well, or if I will actually have to take over right in the end here. Let's see about that. We have the green light, car is going. Zero interventions so far. Let's not jinx it, guys. There's a guy walking his dog, a red light.
Turn right onto Van Ness Avenue.
And we are already at Van Ness Avenue. Tesla is folding its mirrors for some reason. Okay, be careful. I'm actually looking at the screen instead of looking out. Well, I'll have to look to the left here to know if the car is doing it right. Okay, feels like there's a gap now. Let's shoot it. Okay. And the Tesla executed perfectly on the gap that opened. It's going around this car, maneuvering like crazy. A stress reminder just popped up on my watch to tell me that I need to relax, maybe breathe in, breathe out slowly to lower stress. Because I'm stressed out, and not by the car doing anything incorrect. It's the best driving experience I've ever had from anyone. Sorry everyone that's ever driven me, but there's just no competition. No competition. And we have a green light. It looks like we're gonna go down this hill for a while. And this drive has taken a little bit more than 30 minutes, actually. I can see that. So I hope the Tesla employees are not mad when I return the car a little bit too late. But they were so nice to let me like record the whole drive and made me nervous by not giving me a freaking Tesla rep to sit in
Your destination
next to me and hold my hand during all of this. I'm just alone here, guys. It feels surreal. Okay, so We'll just have to get in.
Now your destination is on the right.
Yeah, the destination is on the right, so hopefully the car can park itself as well. And it's actually doing that. Holy crap. It's just parking itself perfectly over here. No stopping. And we're here. Zero intervention drive. No touching of the steering wheel. And the Tesla has just driven me through busy San Francisco for 30 minutes. Guys, this is just unbelievable. The future is now. Be sure to like the video. Let me know in the comments which part you liked the most, and this will be one of my favorite videos I've ever made. Hopefully, at least a little bit, you can feel that with me. Thank you so much for all of your support and feedback, and see you in the next one. Right now, I'm taking a Waymo to go see AI Driver. Yes, I can't believe it myself. Just had my first FSD drive today, and 2 hours later AI Driver reached out and we're going to meet up and make a video together. Hey, look, it's my car coming over the horizon. I can see it now and it's just coming to me. So let's see if it will actually unlock on its own without me actually touching the phone. It's a little bit windy today, so hopefully you can hear me well. And this is my third ever Waymo ride. So far, I've had 2 Waymo rides, 1 FSD, and this is my third Waymo. Gonna pick me up, take me to AI Driver. Hey, driver, I'm over here. Yeah, that's just perfect. And now, give me the handle. Much better. All right, let's ride. Why is the seat always so much in front? Let's see if it will let me start the ride again without putting on the seatbelt.
Heading to city center. Please make sure your seatbelt is fastened. For any questions,
Yeah, it's actually flashing right now and it's so far back that I couldn't quite reach it. And it's going pretty fast too. And now I just have to adjust the seat. If you can see, the controls are right over here. I can just put it a little bit more back to be relaxed a bit more. I don't know if the Waymo resets the seat every time the passengers vacate the car, but the default position definitely isn't something you would want to be in. Just gonna send a quick update to my dear friend AI Driver that I'm already on my way. And we'll meet him at the supercharger. Let's see if the Waymo can actually get us there. This is just surreal, guys. I can't really believe it. I started the Robot IRL channel just last year after graduating my second university. And basically I've been doing videos for more than 15 years now. And it's always been a side project because I've always been studying. And the first year I actually started doing it full time, I've started getting so many of these amazing opportunities. And so many risks have paid off for me so far that it's really amazing. And I'm so grateful for all of you guys appreciating my content. Look at the Waymo overtaking all of these guys. That is just great, but why doesn't it go when it has the green light? It's pretty cautious. Okay. My ability to evaluate and criticize a car driving in California is not that great because I have zero familiarity with local laws. Let's get that music muted so YouTube doesn't want to take my money. Thank you so much. And so it's pretty funny that I'm doing this. The only thing I can actually evaluate is the car's ability not to crash itself and the smoothness and basically everything regarding common sense. But anything even remotely related to local customs, rules, and laws, is a complete unknown for me. And that's going to be super interesting once we hit that full self-driving torture tests with AI driver. And I just can't wait to do it. Looks like I'm just gonna switch to one video per week because I have so much footage from California that I didn't really count on having. And it would probably be unwise to just leave it and post once per 2 weeks instead of, actually switching the channel to high gear just like I planned once FSD would actually come into Europe. But since I came to FSD, a Waymo is yielding to a Waymo. That's just perfect. Since I came to FSD, I guess I can treat you guys with at least a few videos back to back. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below if you're okay with waiting 14 days for another Robot RL release, or if, another Waymo over there, and I should be at the supercharger in 11 minutes.
What I didn't realize at the time was that the Waymo wouldn't take me directly to the supercharger. Instead, it dropped me off about a 5-minute walk away. This is a significant disadvantage compared to Tesla's Robotaxis, which are notably more precise and adventurous. Unfortunately, I still haven't received an invitation to Tesla's Robotaxi service, and even if I did, I'm not sure if I could afford flying thousands of miles from Prague to the US again this year. If you'd like to support this mission, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button under the video. I'll be brutally honest. This channel isn't profitable yet, but that doesn't bother me because I genuinely love creating these videos.
To be fair, another preposition that I have confirmed is that driving in the US is actually easier and less challenging than a European city like Prague. I mean, I finished my driver's license and the final test in Prague, inside of the most gruesome parts of Prague. And let me tell you, I have never witnessed anything worse. Even though I've spent a few months in Spain and Portugal, and I've been to Italy and places that you suggest in the comments are super hardcore. I really recommend you guys visit Prague as well. Because, it's a sleeper, but it's up there. And I'm not sure if Waymo could handle Prague, even if they mapped it super nicely. But I'm pretty sure that FSD could, especially after today's first impressions. But yeah, not to really throw garbage on Waymo, because this ride is as perfect as both the other rides. But you can feel it's a little bit rough around the edges. Just a little bit. Just the last 5 to 10% are, for example, this G-force that it put on me right now, this slight sudden turn of the wheel is something that full self-driving would not do, and would have just basically interpolated between the two positions and done it much smoother. So I guess this is the FSD and Waymo comparison. Keep in mind, I only have 30 minutes of experience with FSD or so yet, and pretty similar numbers for my Waymo experience. In San Francisco, the same city. And yeah, both are passable. Both are better than most drivers. but full self-driving feels like it's on another level altogether. Waymo definitely stops a bit more aggressively at an FSD, and you can feel some jankiness and like stuttering in the car's movements. For example, when it stops and then it gets going again. And I wouldn't call it phantom braking or erratic behavior or anything like that. It's just that if I have to compare the two systems, then I really have to say that FSD is like that much better. Yeah, but like when Waymo starts slowing down, it makes your head go forward a little bit, you know, an inch or two of inertia and how's that called in English? Damn it. The thing I'm experiencing right now in my YouTube career. Momentum. Yeah, that's the thing. You can feel a little bit of the momentum like shaking you up. Oh my God, this was a little bit of a jerk of the steering wheel. Probably the most violent move that Waymo has put me through just yet. And I hope it's not going to repeat, because that felt not good. And obviously, the interior of Waymo is a little bit last century, you know, compared to Tesla. Like these vents and all of these physical buttons here. What is this crap, you know? Some sticker falling off. Just sitting in a Tesla, even when it stopped, oh, this wasn't a pleasant stop either. It should have predicted that yellow and red light a lot better, for sure. But like, even just sitting in a Tesla feels more futuristic and professional already, even when it's stopped and it's not driving. I completely understand that that might be a personal preference, and that there are a lot of people who, for some reason, prefer like Mercedes style of interiors. But I'm not one of those people. My style is futurism, minimalism, and you know, most of all, it's function over form. I just want the thing to work. The acceleration is quick, but not quite as smooth. And yeah, like now that I have the comparison with full self-driving, I'm basically a spoiled brat here, who's rambling about how Waymo could be smoother. But if you go to my first video where I tested Waymo, I was blown away by the capability. Okay? I take Uber quite often in Prague, and no driver that I've driven with came to being 70% as good as a Waymo and like 40% as good as Tesla FSD, if I absolutely had to quantify it. Yeah, this stop was smooth until the very end where it goes boop. But Tesla doesn't do that. Tesla goes smooth so smooth that you don't even realize that you're stopped already. If you had closed eyes and couldn't see, you couldn't pinpoint the exact moment when Tesla FSD stops. That's how smooth it is. And funny enough, regarding the acceleration and stopping, I think that... Oh my God. someone was honking at someone else just now, and I thought they were in our lane or direction of traffic, but it was probably the other one. That's full as hell. But what was I saying just before? Oh yeah, that the Waymo, regarding its acceleration and stopping, feels more human. Just funny, you know? Like the erratic stop that it does, it's like a human driving a manual gas car and just not caring about how exactly smooth the stop is. And Tesla is so smooth. Full self-driving feels not human, but superhuman. And I'm just trying to find the right words to describe what I'm experiencing here and feeling. So maybe if you don't quite understand or think that my vocabulary isn't the best, feel free to ask me about any details in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Oh my god, it's gonna blow through a yellow light. Did you just see that? And I think that's legal, right? Like, as far as it's not red, that is probably legal. And now we're in a bike lane? I'm not sure that is what the car is supposed to do. And we're arriving in 1 minute. And AI drivers may be probably already gonna be there. So, guys, hands are shaking. How does the song go? Palms are heavy, knees sweating, or something like that. This is just me having the time of my life, guys.
Don't forget your phone, keys, or wallet. There are more drop-off options in the app.
Waymo's yielding to these pedestrians. It's super cautious about pedestrians and doesn't want to go anywhere near them, as opposed to Tesla FSD, which is still super cautious and harmless. But let me tell you, it's not afraid to overtake a pedestrian or a cyclist as much as a Waymo is. It's definitely more assertive and confident than a Waymo. And Waymo is confident. Okay, so it looks like it's dropping us off, and we'll have to find the supercharger on our own. So,
Here, please make sure it's clear before exiting.
thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one with AI Driver.
This is an interesting starting point because the map doesn't know that this is a place you can drive. So right now it has us driving off the edge here.
All right.
So this is a good spot to get the car really confused. I'm just going to put it into an even worse situation.
Just drive it all the way
Yeah.
up there.
So we'll just we'll see how this goes. So already.
It's like instantly.
Okay,
reversed.
that was too easy. Too easy. I gotta go all the way over here. Yeah, it instantly. It's like, okay, we're going in reverse. So you can see, like,
Dude,
it's
so
constantly when you're manually driving. You'll see the path planner constantly adjusting, like if I was driving, I'd be doing this right now, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
And it's already running in shadow mode in Europe as well. You just can't see that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure they're collecting
so much data and.
So see, so it's looking for the road that it cannot find. This is why this is such a good spot. We'll see how long it takes for it to figure this out.
That's backing up into this parking spot.
Yeah, you can't go that way. There's no way out. There's no way out.
Backing up into the trolleys is my specialty with auto park.
Oh, it's genuinely confused right now.
So it like parked itself and gave up.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty much.
Okay.
I might actually have to help it.
Let's see what
'Cause it's-
happens.
It wants.
It's trying something different.
It wants. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that some of the results that I get aren't consistent. I guess
Like for sure, why would they be? You know.
Yeah, no,
It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
a neural network.
Exactly.
It's non-deterministic. So.
Exactly.
And the environment is changing all the time.
Exactly. I tried to do the object avoidance test again that I did a while ago, and had so many different. I gotta try that again and put up a more scientific method of testing.
I would do that if I were you. Like, look at that Mark Rober video, man. It's like such a low-hanging fruit to actually, and the guy actually did that like properly the next few days on hardware 4, and
Oh yeah, I know. I saw that.
it's like,
Yeah.
no man, that's not how any of this works.
I might actually have to help it out here. It is so confused.
it's just
it parked itself again. It's like, what do you want me to do? There's no way to get over there.
Yeah. There's a car as well.
All right, yeah. We'll just oh, it might have figured it out.
It's seeing all those cars come from there, so maybe it's just like, huh,
Yeah,
let
maybe
me
I can
take a
go
look
this way.
where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Now we've got some progress. Now it's actually seeing like look at how it's visualizing the road to our left, even though it couldn't possibly see it, right?
No,
Or
there's no way. There's no way it can see that road to the left. And the other
is there that road?
Yeah, no, that's and I believe it's a 3-lane road too, just like it's displaying. So that's the interesting thing here, is that the visualizations, I think, are using some amount of map data. You can see it also
have
thinks
to.
it's also
like
wants to
we've
try to
confirmed that right
turn
now.
left. Yeah, exactly. But I also think that since version 13, the visualizations are almost completely disconnected from the car.
Oh yeah. I always hear people telling like, oh no, it can't see that because it's not on the visualization. And I'm
Yeah.
like, nope,
Yeah, so
not how that works.
it abandoned
anymore.
its navigation route, so that was good. But yeah, they've slowly gotten rid of all, like, it used to highlight cars in blue that it was yielding to.
It's not doing that anymore.
Not anymore at all. It's not even showing turn signals on cars anymore, only brake lights. There's a lot of things that they have just completely gotten rid of.
You think they'll ever like remake the visualization with the actual...
This happened last time too.
Okay.
See, it's on kind of hog in the middle here.
Yeah. Oop. It's kind of harsh.
Yeah, this is a
But
tough.
now it's going. All right.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
This is where the Waymo dropped me off, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's only a few minute walk.
Not great, not terrible.
Yeah. One thing I think that they're going to need to do is add that, just, because like you see this car, like they cannot see us right now until we're very close. I think they do need to add that front bumper camera. I mean, I don't think it's necessary for all scenarios, but especially in dense cities like this, where you have to like poke your nose out.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough.
It's definitely why they added it to the Cybercab, because having the front bumper cam on the new Model Y isn't yet, I think, like 100% proof that it's going to be used for autonomy. But having it on the Cybercab makes it like absolutely, like why else would they put it there?
Yeah, exactly. I almost think that's what hardware 4 is. It's just an upgraded computer and a front bumper camera. I had to reset
You mean hardware 5?
Hardware 5, yeah. I had to reset the
MCU.
computer because the recording dropped out, which happens pretty frequently, unfortunately.
So you do record that through the phone?
Yeah, I just have a cable running through the car and then goes
Yeah.
back up here. But you can see it still drives.
Yeah,
And it's still, I think it I don't know if it caches the old navigation route, but it drives just fine.
Yeah.
And it'll continue the last navigation route that was in here.
Just make mine a little bit older.
Yeah. Wow, look at all those spots. Are we still going to the right place? Yeah.
Town Center 511.
Yeah, we should be good. Oh, it wants
Gonna
to
be
go
there
a new
early
way.
as well.
Well, that's without traffic.
Yeah. It doesn't take traffic into account?
It does, but I just restarted it. So
Oh.
it's gonna
like
connect
fetching
back
the
to
data.
yeah, it's gonna connect to the internet again.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so as soon as that goes away, we'll have a more accurate ETA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the visualizations. It's sad. I think they're gonna go away. I really do. Like if you look at the interior shots of the cars running around the factory, it just says full self-driving, and there's no visualization.
I don't think
at
that
all.
necessarily has to mean that they're going away, because I think for like confidence, it's a really good thing.
Oh no,
for
for sure.
Passenger confidence.
Yeah, you want to be able to know the car sees the car.
You also have some primitive visuals in the Waymo as well, which I think it's the right way to show confidence to the passenger, so they don't feel blind or like the car is blind.
Mm-hmm.
The bus is driving super close.
Yeah. That's one thing about San Francisco is everybody's just on top of each other.
Yeah.
And there's also like, I don't know if you've experienced the lane splitting motorcycles, but I mean that's legal in Europe though, right?
I'm not sure. Can you describe
the motorcycles like going between cars in a lane?
Oh, I'm not sure if that's legal. Actually.
Okay. This is the one state in the United States where that's legal.
It's definitely not polite. Like people hate cyclists in our country. Like car drivers hate cyclists, and it's like an ongoing war in Prague between cyclists and drivers. So I don't think anyone appreciates them like doing that, and I'm not sure it's legal. I'm embarrassing myself right now for not knowing our traffic laws, but yeah. Have you seen my Amsterdam video?
No, haven't seen that
I
one.
like just
oh wait, no, yeah, the one you just yes,
Yeah.
where you had it slowed down pretty well.
Breakdown of that official like Tesla.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I missed in there watching it at regular speed.
So great that people found it interesting. I thought it was like a fun, wild idea, but actually it exploded.
Yeah, your channel's doing really well, man. It really is.
I'm so happy because I was expecting to be in huge like sleeper mode up until FSD actually came out in Europe, to just like, gather like a few hundred subscribers or something, and like get the workflow going so I can actually like efficiently record some great footage in the car and get some editing workflows and like preset and animations and make it look really good. And I was okay with not doing well. And the fact that I am doing well is just super motivating for me.
Yeah, it's you got a great thing going on, and there's a lot of eyes on this right now. I should honestly probably be making more videos.
I think your posting schedule is a little bit like too infrequent.
Yeah, I don't think I've uploaded a video in 2 months.
But on the other hand, I really appreciate like the focus on quality, because you don't see that very often.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I try to do as well. But
Yeah.
I post one video every 2 weeks now, and I am considering switching to like double that, one video a week once FSD actually hits, so I can like ride the wave.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And I'm confident that I can deliver a video a week in like high quality
Yeah,
if I drop all other work.
yeah, that sounds awesome.
So what do you think? Am I delivering a good quality video to you right now? It's a huge risky experiment for me, honestly, to put out something so long, but I feel like you're going to appreciate the raw, unfiltered conversation with AI Driver especially. If you do, please consider liking the video, giving us your honest feedback in the comments, or becoming a channel member. Fun fact, members get early access to all new uploads, including this one. And just a few days ago, I uploaded an exclusive member video where you can watch me experience Tesla Autopilot for the very first time, which happened almost 5 years ago now. And it was crazy. If you decide to join, you also get an evolving robot badge next to your name and exclusive emojis that you can flex with in the comments. I'm super grateful for not just all new members, but for all of you who interact with my videos in any way whatsoever. We're building a great community here, even if it's still pretty small, and maybe it's even better that way. I honestly hate how big influencers like MKBHD, Linus Tech Tips, or Jerry Rig Everything completely ignore the latest versions of full self-driving we're showing you right now. Why do they not want to talk about it on their channels? Do they just hate Elon Musk so much they're willing to be dishonest with their fans? Is there some kind of legacy auto corruption going on? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Either way, I'm so glad that channels like AI Driver exist and that I could at least a little bit join the effort to showcase this amazing technology.
Sorry if it smells like wet dog in here.
I mean, we like dogs, so no problem. No problem, man.
But yeah, most of the drives are kind of like this, man. It used to be so adventurous and so like, you know, it's really interesting how much it's developed.
Yeah.
Especially within the last, I don't know,
like,
6 months or something.
Once they hit that end to end, it's just it was instantly clear to me that that's the right approach. Like once I saw Elon goofing around finding Mark Zuckerberg to fight him in the like one of the first like builds of 12, I was like, yep.
The original.
I never like I kind of cringed, you know, when I was watching all of your like FSD 10 and 11 videos. I was like, well, you can't really like write in all the rules. It's like impossible to actually code this stuff to be ready for everything, you know? So
exactly.
Once they announced that, hey, we're just gonna do this, and I don't know if you know Comma AI and the open pilot.
Yeah.
By the way, I think you could also like do some videos about that, which would be super interesting for me to see. If you want some video ideas, but they've been doing end-to-end like since the very beginning, as far as I know. Like they just feed the camera image and into a neural network and they just output controls. Or at least their CEO has been like saying that in podcasts and stuff.
I think it's a little nervous with this person here.
Yeah. But it's going, you know, like...
Yeah, it makes it through.
And it picked a perfect gap, too.
Yeah, technically you're not even supposed to enter the... Actually, it's weird. The laws are all kind of... And, like, anything the car does, there's always a bunch of different opinions on, like, if that was the right thing to do.
I'm sure. Especially with, like, growing visibility of the video. It goes further and further from your, like, core audience. And, like, completely... different people start showing up in the comments.
No, totally.
Saying like crazy stuff.
And it makes me realize how bad of drivers some people are.
Sure.
Like, so many people complaining, like, oh, it's so slow, it didn't do this, I would have just gone for it, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no wonder there's so many people dying on the roads.
Definitely.
Jesus.
I feel that. Like, I partner up with a guy who's doing Tesla videos in our country because I wanted to start this robot RL thing, and I didn't have my own Tesla. I didn't quite have the money to get it, and so I've partnered up with this guy that I'm driving with, and he's been super nice, and I've been like editing some videos for him and coaching him about YouTube, like as a barter deal, you know. And he's like this kind of crazy driver who goes double the speed limit just to get somewhere 10 minutes faster, and his take is, well, I'm in control. I could like nothing is going to happen to me because I'm such a good driver. I can afford this.
Exactly.
And with this fast car, I'm going fast, and it's completely okay. And I just have no respect for that. You know, like these are the like. He's a normal good guy, but this part of his like philosophy is bothering me a lot, especially when we're driving together and he wants to get somewhere faster and it's driving with me at those speeds, you know. It feels pretty horrifying.
No, I completely
even more horrifying
understand it.
than trying to use autopilot on it.
The vast majority of people overestimate their driving ability, and you know, like the incidents are. Honestly, I'm surprised humans don't crash more often. Like they crash a lot, but I'm surprised that it doesn't happen more often with some of them.
I'm always anxious when, like, I'm a pedestrian because you're just trusting everyone not to hit you. You know,
I almost got hit.
Anyone could kill you like anytime.
Yeah, I almost got hit by a truck a few weeks ago. I was crossing a crosswalk, and there was somebody turning left, and I was like, I guess I was just hitting right behind his like A-pillar blind spot.
Oh.
And he just slammed on the brakes at like the last possible second.
my
It
God.
scared the shit out of me.
Thankfully, nothing happened.
Yeah, but it's just, you know, stuff like that. And it's also, it's going to be nice getting people that have better things to do than drive. Like, a lot of people just would be much better off in the back seat, just like looking at their
Yeah.
phone, you know, because that's like they're driving and they're looking at their phone and then they're, you know, going 15 over the speed limit or something, and like they think they're in control. But
I think it's going to be interesting. Like, not the point where full self-driving is 100 times better than a human, but the moment where driving manually becomes illegal. Like, that's going to be... Like, those people are going to scream their lungs
I
out,
don't think
man.
that can happen for a long time, especially not here. We got too many people who would
But
be too pissed off.
Maybe at least, like, the insurance companies will, like, heavily incentivize them.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's going to be way more expensive to drive yourself once it's
Definitely.
proven, you know, that self-driving cars can do it better and they're
I
readily available.
I really hope that takes off, because it's going to be better for everyone.
I think so too.
Yeah, first we actually have to get that FSD in Europe, man.
Oh, I know.
It's been a long waiting list.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, man. I thought it was funny because of the laws. Even the video that they showed, the guy had to keep touching the steering wheel
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't think it would have been legal if he even went like that, which is just wild.
It says keep your hands on the wheel at all times.
It does.
So
And that is true. That is true. But it's, you know, the videos they show here,
oh sure.
they're just like chilling. It is kind of odd, huh? Because whenever you engage it, even right now, it says, keep your hands on the wheel. Be prepared to take over at any time.
You're prepared to take over. You know? It's just
But you
that.
also don't have to keep your hands on the wheel.
Another point to the like fast drivers who are overconfident. I think like even if you are actually the best driver in the world and your reaction delay is like 0 milliseconds, there are still speeds that can kill you regardless, you know?
Yeah.
Or situations that you can find yourself in where just driving fast will be the factor that makes it worse. Like,
Yeah.
Skill totally taken out of the equation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just physics in general
Yeah.
kind of screws you sometimes. You know, like if
That's
you look
what
at
I-
if
that's
you
what
look
I
at
mean.
braking tests of like 50 miles an hour compared to like 55 miles an
Exactly.
hour, it's like a much bigger difference than people think. It's also interesting. What do you think? Okay, so I think full self-driving unsupervised will release in June,
Sure.
but I don't think it's going to be incident free.
Oh. Why do you think that?
Because even if it launches, let's say, twice as safe as a human driver, that means there's going to be a lot of accidents happening. Like there's some things that are just unavoidable. Like I was watching I forget even who posted it, but somebody's full self-driving video where there was just a pedestrian that just walked right out behind a bus, and the car slammed on the brakes and like barely avoided collision. It was just like a drunk person walking out into the street. And I was just thinking like, man, if that pedestrian had walked out 1 second later, that would have been a completely different issue. Like even if the car had instant reaction times, there's zero chance of stopping, you know what I mean? And it's like, I think the goal should definitely be to, you know, perfection should definitely be the goal, but I'm just not sure it's possible.
That's a good point. Like my first thought is that I think it's going to launch at much higher level of skill than just 3 times better than a human, especially if you think about the average human. And there's like the reaction time going almost to 0, just like we mentioned before. And yeah, I agree that there are going to be like accidents, but you know, maybe just not as quickly with them just starting with 20 cars. I think it's gonna be like really well controlled, and that they're trying to like get around or like get through this as safely as possible. And I think what you just said is probably the main reason why they're starting with such a small fleet, to just, you know, make the odds go in their favor.
Yeah.
That at least like in the first month or a few months, there's a very low possibility of something really bad happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that eventually the first full self-driving car is gonna hit someone, maybe even like game end someone, and
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about
the
that.
media's gonna
Have a oh yeah, because I think even if it is statistically much safer, like I don't think that's the narrative the mainstream media is gonna paint.
But people send me messages even today saying like, but didn't you hear that that Tesla FSD killed a person, blah blah blah. And I'm not sure that there were any like incidents where like FSD actually killed someone, where it wasn't just the driver, you know, not taking over in time and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like one of the biggest arguments that people who actually know Tesla a little bit tell me is, well, you're gonna drive with FSD supervised, and then it's gonna get itself into a bad situation, and then it's gonna tell you to take over half a second before something bad happens, and then it's on you. And they say that that's like really sketchy from Tesla, you know.
Yeah, well,
that it tells you to take over too late. That It's super confident until the very like last moment. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, totally. I think we might be getting a little stuck here. Oh, never mind.
You've seen over an hour of self-driving, so would you trust this technology with your life? Or are you still scared because of all the legacy media headlines?
I've heard that too. If you look at the way that Tesla counts crashes, they count anything, I think it's within a 5 or 10 second period after disengagement as an autopilot crash. So I think even those crashes, like, it's always the driver's responsibility, even if it didn't tell him to take over and it just did it itself. It's always going to be on the driver right now. But that's one thing that drives me crazy. Like, oh, they don't count those in the statistics. It's like they specifically say they do count all those, even the accidental disengagements where people accidentally disengage and then hit a wall.
That's a good thing, right? Because like it's making those statistics more conservative and less like make believe. Like no one can accuse Tesla, just like you said, of skewing it in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, if people had evidence that they were faking those things, it'd be, you know, that would be plastered all over the news, but they're not.
Yeah.
This is just, it just is the way it is.
And once you sit in the car and experience it, you can get it. Like you instantly get why there's like such a low accident rate on this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like I completely forgot that you're not driving.
Yeah, this whole
As
time.
we're talking, like this whole time, yeah.
Yeah. Besides the car parking itself a couple times and refusing to get going, it's been pretty smooth.
And what I've been rambling about during my very first FSD drive earlier today was how smooth the stops are. Like, you know, even if you sit with the best human driver or in the Waymo, there's that little bit of jerk at the very end when you're stopping where you can like recognize that the car has stopped. If you closed your eyes in a Tesla driving on FSD, you couldn't tell the exact moment when the car stopped. That's how smooth it is.
The limo starts and the limo stops are like what I was looking for. Like, I don't know, you said you've watched my videos for a while, but it's always been my dream. The limo driver has always been the dream, you know, of like smooth and steady. And like what I figured was going to happen is they were going to get to
it's overtaking. Oh my god. That's a nice edge case right there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Then we're going to have to get back in this lane over here. I don't know if it's going to see what happens here.
And let's see if it knows about all the closures there here because of the Figma config. There's a few streets that I think they're closed up.
Oh yeah,
around.
let's see. We'll see what happens up here. I forgot even what I was just talking about.
About the limo driver. Stop.
Oh, well, yeah, what I figured was going to happen was they were going to achieve self-driving using the old methods, but just like in certain cities. And, you know, like I thought it was going to be safe before it got smooth.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
That's definitely intuitive.
Yeah, and I figured, you know, they would just keep improving full self-driving with the kind of updates that I was used to. But then when it went to completely neural nets, like, God, it was just such a huge shift.
Can I get the ventilated seat going?
This one doesn't have
Oh,
ventilated
yeah, sure.
seats,
Sorry, it
unfortunately.
feels like I'm trolling you for having a Model Y.
I know, my wife has the Model 3 today, so yeah.
But at least I'm not having the heating on right now, right?
Yeah.
I have the heating on like in the seat
No, well,
because my back feels okay.
jeez. That was...
Props for not taking over, man.
I had my foot on the brake.
That was great.
Oh, that was a close call.
I'm gonna put that one like right in the intro of the next video. That's what gets people hooked, you know.
Whew. San Francisco. Oh man, it's hard to talk. Like whenever, especially in San Francisco, you can't let your guard down.
Sure.
Yeah. See, and my rear light kicked on.
Okay.
See,
harsh braking.
it's useful. Yeah. See, it flashed the driver behind me.
Yeah, great.
That was pretty wild.
At least they didn't like ram us.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. Like that's the I predict number one accident will be
Someone ramming a Tesla from behind.
yes, rear-ending it. Like people do not expect full stops. They don't expect it to, you know, like, and that's one reason why it's good that it behaves so human now. But there's some things that it's programmed to do by law that humans don't do, and it's technically the right thing to do, but it's also
Yeah, I noticed that, and I talked about that in my first FSD ride as well, and especially with how many stop signs there are in the US, like they're everywhere.
oh yeah, they're overused.
This won't be a problem in Europe because we have so like few stop signs that, you know, you can roll through like every intersection with a yield sign or through every roundabout smoothly, and the FSD cars will have to stop much less in Europe than they have to in the US. Because of your stop signs. So that's one thing FSD will have actually easier in Europe.
And this prediction turned out to be pretty true. Europe, which the skeptics presented as an impossible challenge, has been a walk in the park for Tesla's full self-driving technology, the only impossible obstacle being regulation. By now, we've seen Tesla FSD tested in 5 different capital cities of 5 very different European countries. That's Amsterdam, Paris, Rome, Madrid, and Berlin. I hope Prague is next. I've dissected most of these official Tesla tests on my channel, so be sure to check them out when you're finally finished with this one. One thing is clear, this technology is ready for a worldwide rollout, with maybe just the most hardcore places like India or Southeast Asia being a challenge. On the other hand, FSD has also been working in China, which we'll also discuss with AI Driver later in the video, so be sure to keep watching.
Well, it's just continuing forward completely smoothly.
So now it's rerouted. It wants us to get all the way over 3 lanes. So I'll let this happen, but this could be a little, oh, it might ignore that one too. There's no way it can make that. I'm actually just gonna stop real quick.
Okay.
And remove this.
I wonder who's actually still watching, who's just listening, and who actually gave up at this point in the video. Let me know in the comments as always.
So one thing that, because I think we're on a turn-only lane right now too, so we'll see what it does. But one thing is I've tried to use ChatGPT to give me difficult routing.
Yeah.
But the one problem with that is that it doesn't go to it'll say, oh, if you turn down this street and then go this way, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
the Tesla navigation will always go the fastest way.
Yeah, sure. That's why I had it print so many waypoints, you know, so that it would actually force the car to only go that route.
Got
But it was really challenging, and it doesn't really know how to work with maps yet, so it sometimes like hallucinates something that's completely invalid. So
Yeah.
I had to work with it for a while before I got something that looks sensible on at least Google Maps. But then, like you said, Tesla Maps is another beast. So yeah, we'll see what it does.
Even though this channel is focused on real-world AI, I've been working with ChatGPT in the background this whole time because it's just such an amazing tool. And today, Elon is launching Grok 4, which should also be implemented into the Tesla summer update. So I'm really curious how that is going to look. I guess in a few years, we'll just talk to our cars and let them know where we want to go, specify if we want them to hurry or chill or pick up a passenger somewhere on the way. Exciting times coming for sure. I just can't wait to get my own Tesla and show all of this to you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still ways to go.
0 interventions so far. It feels like
This might be the first one because we're definitely in a turn-only lane right now. Oh, it saw the arrow. We'll see if anybody's going to be
Oh, yeah.
nice. We'll see if somebody's going to be nice. Oh, it's forcing its way in. This guy does not want to let us in. Oh, no. He didn't let us in.
So it's gonna have.
What a dick! That's the other thing. It is a little passive sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes it's passive, and other times it's very
Do
aggressive.
you have it on like hurry mode right now, or?
So there's, I have it on standard,
Yeah.
but right now, like, this is something else interesting that not a lot of people know. If it doesn't say anything, like it doesn't right now, there's like this fourth mysterious profile.
I know. I've heard you say that.
Yeah,
in the video.
and this is when it's allowed to reverse. Whenever it's
Yeah.
in chill, standard, hurry, it has like, it feels completely different. But when it's in this mode, and it comes and goes, but when it's in this mode, it feels completely different.
Right.
Nicely done.
What is it gonna do now? Oh, we just got like one lane over, and that solved the problem, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, for now.
I've actually had like a super interesting edge case within the first 10 meters of my first drive earlier today, which was that there was this truck in front of me, and they were waiting. They were stopped, and FSD was kind of impatient, so it started like creeping towards the truck. Then it stopped like a few meters behind it, and then the truck started reversing into me.
Whoa.
And so I was waiting for the car to like dodge them and reverse, and it didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
And it let the truck get super close to me. So I'm not sure if it was still confident that we're okay, or if it was in like a different mode than the one that allows it to reverse.
Yeah. When it's in those
And
regular
gonna-
profiles,
I'm
it
gonna
doesn't
probably
even.
see that once I get a look at the video and like see in which mode it was. But I was prepared to like reverse manually and get out of the way.
Oh yeah, sometimes you have to.
This happened to me on our last vacation in Morocco with a rented car, where there was like a bus driver on a roundabout, and I was like a few meters behind him, and he started backing up into me, and he didn't see me, and he actually backed up all the way into me.
Wow.
And nothing happened, like it not even a scratch of the bumper. It was like a miracle. I thought the car was destroyed. And then we like exited and inspected the car, and it was completely okay. And when we like compared the scratches from the videos we've taken like before the rental, there was no new scratches. But a guy just backed up into
Wow.
me. And the same thing almost happened to me today on Full Self Driving.
Within the first 10 seconds of
10 seconds,
engaging,
yeah.
that'd be quite the experience. Come all the way here and finally try
Yeah,
full
yeah.
self-driving and just crash immediately without even moving anywhere. Yeah, it's funny. Those profiles do make a big difference. It really changes the car's behavior. Did you ever make it onto the highway?
No. I just went from like the Tesla shop on Van Ness to the Presidio. I think by the like most optimal, shortest route available. So yeah, pretty easy driving actually. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to go through the gauntlet that
Yeah, well,
I designed.
if you want, I can give you the raw footage from this drive, including the
That would be amazing, actually.
visualizations,
That
just
would
so
be
you
amazing,
can.
Since I think it would be pointless for me to just like put a GoPro on my head right now or like try to do it myself.
Yeah.
I can just make it AI driver style.
There
instead.
you go. Yeah.
Maybe I'll even be able to improve upon it.
Oh, let me know.
final
Yeah,
result.
I'm interested. I want to hear what you have to say about the video improvement, man. Yeah, I said you had some good ideas. I'm eager to hear.
Sure. Yeah. We talked earlier, like about the frequency. That I think that if you, like, at least had a consistent schedule, you know, it doesn't have to be like much more frequent. But let's say one video every 2 weeks, just like I do, or one video every 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you can manage. I think that YouTube really rewards a consistent schedule. So that's like
For sure.
one thing to think about. And regarding video production, I think like my biggest point would be just the video like ideas, titles, and thumbnails. I think are more important than most people think on
Oh, for
YouTube.
sure.
So it's like you make amazing videos for nerds like me, but if you wanted to tap into that like bigger, more general audience, then you would have to like, you know, show them something that's interesting even for like normal people.
Yeah, I try
Figure out
to.
how to, like, your titles are great and thumbnails as well, even though I think they're maybe a little bit too busy sometimes. But you know, some like mainstream tech YouTubers like MKBHD, or do you watch like tech YouTube?
Yeah.
Someone.
Yeah, most like who are you talking about? MKBHD.
Yeah,
and-
MKBHD and maybe Jerry Rig Everything, and well, he's a little bit on the nerdy side as well. I think he's not like that mainstream, but like Cleo Abram or Casey Neistat or people like those, I think they make like super approachable videos, and that's what I try to do with Robot IRL as well. It's like I try to think, okay, how to make a video that would be accessible even for people who don't know anything about this yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, make it good for the nerds, but also make it accessible for the regular people. But like, these are really like broad suggestions.
Yeah, yeah.
More
Because I
more
try
general.
to do that. I try to.
Oh, I think you're doing a great job with like the videos themselves, but if you ever saw like what Holmars sometimes does, he taps onto like really good like viral title stuff with his, I think most viewed video is titled "My Tesla just picked me up from the store and took me home" or something like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like super simple. And he just opens the app inside like a supermarket and does the actually smart summon, and then just enters the car and presses the button. And that's what I think people need to see. Instead of like, welcome to version 13.2.8. This is like actually 10 times better than the last update, blah, 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 you know? And not to like hate on you, but you know what I mean by
Yeah, no, I know. I'm trying. It's kind of like. I also want useful information in there
Sure.
for the people
Has to
who
be- has to
like,
be
you
there.
know what I mean? And like,
It's hard to balance that.
yeah, it really is. It really is hard to balance that because I like giving people the perspective of where we've been and where we're going, kind of thing, and add that into the video.
And you know, for me, these videos are perfect. And if you were to like sacrifice a little bit of that and make it a little bit more accessible, I think those videos would be worse for me. as a viewer, as someone who like knows everything about this. But it would be better for 10 more people, you know. So that's like a balancing act to think about.
Yeah.
But I think like 99% you're doing a great job.
Well, thanks, man.
And maybe we can sometimes like talk about the specifics regarding editing and composition and stuff like that. What kind of editing software do you use? Do you use DaVinci Resolve?
Yeah, I use Resolve.
Yeah.
Yep. I used to use Vegas.
Me too, man.
Really?
I switched from Vegas to DaVinci Resolve like a few years ago.
Yeah, so did I. Man, it was a learning curve, but God, I'm so happy I did that.
Same.
Because, Jesus, Vegas is just rough. And the sky's the limit with Resolve.
Sure. I've been working with Vegas since I was like 12 years old. And
it looks like we're about to hit our
well,
destination.
then let's turn on like YouTuber mode and go like...
Where was our next one? So I'm just gonna... Yeah, so that one looks like it just drew a straight line from here to here.
All right.
So we can get rid of this and go a different direction.
Yeah.
See, so now it might screw up right here because I had it.
Okay.
So it's going to abandon the navigation route, it looks like, so that's good. Because it was in the turn only lane.
I see.
Yeah. It's kind of iffy if it does that. Like most of the time it will, but if there was no cars behind us, I can guarantee you it would just turn on its right turn signal and went for it.
Yeah. All right, so...
Yeah. But if you want to go to like Lombard Street or something, we can just go straight there because I don't know. I mean, if we
start there, I think that would be like the best start of the video.
Okay. Let's see where we have.
Maybe you can like... I think this was the 425 Market Street.
Oh yeah.
And it's there already, but I'm not sure. If it was that one.
See, so it's probably gonna get a little finicky here, rerouting.
I'm not actually sure if 425 Market Street is the right address. It was... The one above Lombard is 1094 Hyde Street. You have it there.
Why? Sure, that's... I don't think that's...
Yeah, maybe... Oh, sorry, it's 1095 Lombard Street, actually.
1095?
94.
1094 Lombard.
Oh yeah, that must be it.
Alright.
So it's just gonna turn right here and then get there.
Yeah, and then we just have to set in... Well, I'll have to drive manually up to the street.
Okay.
And then we'll...
So we'll just engage and start the video there.
Yeah, sounds
good.
good.
You want to do like a little chat while we're driving?
Yeah, we can if you want. I don't typically narrate as I'm driving because, as you can see, things get crazy, and I can't keep a thought process going when like I have to concentrate on, all the pedestrians and craziness. Yeah, sure.
I'll just be doing like most of the talking if you want.
Yeah,
so
sounds
that
good.
You can focus more on the driving.
Yeah.
And I usually do voiceovers too, but I think like this emotional value of actually sitting here with you is going to be something the fans will appreciate.
Yeah, guy behind us did not expect a full stop there.
So let's do that.
Sounds good. I just, hearing myself talk back live is rough.
You haven't gotten used to that yet?
No. I cannot stand listening to myself.
I think
it is rough.
Perfectly good voice.
Well, thanks, man.
And
I appreciate that.
Before your face reveal, I thought that you would look completely differently.
Oh yeah? Better or worse?
Not better, not worse, just different,
Yeah. That's funny. I kind of regret doing the face reveal. The reason I did it is because I was going to a Tesla event and like I wanted to. Like, I was meeting people there. I don't even care about being recognized, but like I didn't want to like sneak around.
Yeah, sure.
And like have this whole thing like, oh, that's his face. Like, well, it's like it's so weird. It's so weird. It was such a weird thing, so I figured I'd just rip off the band-aid, whatever.
I think it was super mysterious, and actually I'm gonna try to maintain that for as long as possible on my channel.
No, it's good.
Like, so that people can imagine whoever they want, you know, behind the voice.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's powerful and not really that common nowadays on YouTube.
No, for
And
sure.
like the privacy bonus is nice as well.
Yeah, that's
Even though
true.
I have like 3 other channels where I do show my face, but none of them are English speaking, so there isn't really too much like cross audience between my projects. And I also like kept my Robot RL project secret from my Czech fans, because I don't want them to storm the channel and signal to YouTube that, you know, only people from our country should watch it.
Yeah.
Which is what sometimes happens when like a local YouTuber tries to go global. They just get stomped by the algorithm, just geo-locking their content basically.
Yeah, I know nothing about the YouTube algorithm. My best videos take the least amount of time and like the least amount of effort. And my best videos
usually what happens. And you know, that's because they are like the best ideas most of the time. Like, it's not the editing or the effort that counts, it's just the ideas mostly. Like, that's the harsh truth of YouTube, I feel like.
Yeah, like that Cybertruck video I made. I think I made it in like an afternoon, and it has like 5 or 6 million views or something. It's like, what? I don't understand. I feel like YouTube just grabs onto some of these things.
You know, it's sounds and feels controversial, and it's really almost impossible not to click on that. When you say that Cybertruck crashed us is horrifying. It's
I saw your first video title was similar.
Sure, I'm not going to defend myself.
Yeah, I searched through your channel a little bit.
I'm not gonna defend myself on that front because I just try to emulate what's best, you know.
Yeah.
So, looks like we're gonna get there in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I'll try to find a spot to pull over.
Okay.
Just so you can get your stuff set up if needed.
I probably won't need to. Like, if you give me the raw footage from the GoPro, then that's just gonna be fine on its own. And we can just go ahead.
All right, sounds good. So I guess we don't even need to stop.
Yeah, sure. Just go ahead and I'll start.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to turn this into a full video, but there is one that I wanted to make about the driverless launch next month.
Maybe if you like talk about what we talked about, like the accidents and the impossibility of making it accident free, I think that would be a great
that's already
video
in the script.
idea. And also you could think about a really good like controversial title about that, like Tesla FSD is going to harm people and that's okay, or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get some door opening.
Yeah, a lot of double parked cars in San Francisco.
Is this guy gonna open his doors too? Maybe the back.
Yeah, but you see how good it's gotten?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to, for a channel that's focused on trying to find the good and the bad's getting pretty tough to find sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially, there hasn't been any updates in a long time.
Yeah, I know.
The last major update was in the middle of January.
I think they're just all hands-on,
For sure.
unsupervised, and like,
Yeah.
I like that approach so much. Like, Tesla being able to focus on what's really the most important thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's frustrating for like actual clients, like car owners, you know. So this is it, huh?
This is it. We'll see.
go for
I'm
it.
just gonna, I don't have a destination set, so I'm just gonna let the car drive. This is a difficult intersection because they're gonna let us through and they're not. Okay, so they're doing the proper thing. There's no stop signs here.
Okay.
But you kind of have to force your way through here.
Okay,
So,
and
like this is
FSD
just
did.
yeah, that's just how it works.
So guys, welcome. AI driver is just taking me through
A windy road.
a crazy San Francisco FSD gauntlet on my first ever visit to the USA. He came to help, like, it's Avengers Endgame, and he popped up from a portal with his Tesla.
Is that a fake baby in there? I think that's a fake baby. I think they was pushing around a fake baby.
Fake baby in the stroller, acting as a crash dummy for our first ever ride through the most crooked street in San Francisco. Have you ever actually done Vermont Street?
No, I haven't.
They say that is the most crooked street.
Really?
Yeah, that it's like worse than Lombard Street.
Interesting. I might have to go there.
Look how it's doing it so confidently and quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
I personally would drive like 3 times slower here.
Oh no, yeah. You there's a lot of tourists who block this street. And you can just see, like, if you look at the curbs going around here, they're just covered in rubber and marks
yeah.
from hitting this. But yeah, with the latest versions of full self-driving, this is just basically completely effortless at this point.
It did a full stop, which is something that
There's a bunch of people standing directly where we're trying to go. So it's just gonna sneak through
oh
here.
my god, it's so assertive. It was so menacing for those people to.
Yeah, so interesting thing is, like, it's with self-driving cars, it's not only how the car reacts to its surroundings, but it's also how the surroundings react to what the car is doing. So I've noticed it nosing into areas and asserting itself, especially when end-to-end took over. I don't have a destination set, so I think it's just gonna.
Yeah. Well, if you have something that's
You see that? It was ready to go and it stopped because those people were running into the intersection.
Super cautious, even though it's still super assertive. And do you have some like challenging destination in mind that you could quickly like pop in? Or do we just like go YOLO?
I mean, in my videos, I literally just I literally stop at the side of the road and I look on a map and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. It looks like there's an alleyway there, and I just go for it. So we could go to, I know you were talking about Whole Mars. One spot he likes is right under the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, sure.
Did you go there?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of...
I didn't go there on FSD, but we could definitely do that. Like in the more like touristy areas.
Yeah.
To get some people interactions.
Yeah, so there's always a lot of traffic down here.
Is it gonna bog you about like looking at the screen too?
So everybody has differing opinions about this. I think it's pretty good. I'm able to look at the screen now and it doesn't bug me too much.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough situation because we just overtook the Waymo and I don't know if this guy has enough room. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, my commentary is not going to be great.
I think it's amazing, man.
I'm
here to support.
Gotta focus.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do live commentary.
It's much better to focus on the road and do the VO after.
No, I seriously
feel
think
it too.
People like Chuck Cook and Dirty Tesla are like magical. I don't understand how they can, talk and make sense and say interesting things while they're supervising the car. Like, all my attention, especially when it's San Francisco. Any other place that's very relaxing now, but just...
So you think this actually is like the greatest battleground to proof test FSD?
It depends. Like, the one thing that San Francisco guarantees is randomness. Like, there's just earlier on our drive, we had somebody dart out behind a construction sign at the last possible moment without looking in the road. And it's like, you just constantly have to be ready for something like that to happen because a lot of these people are like on drugs. Just to say it kindly, and not caring about themselves or anybody else. So, and that's the way they drive around here too. A lot of disrespect on the road. So as far as like triggering interesting things to happen, yeah, I think this place is probably it. But there's also other places like the hills in Berkeley that I drive.
That's been your favorite spot.
That's my favorite spot, just because those Berkeley hills were made at a time where, you know, there wasn't very many people there. So the roads being small are fine, but now there's just littered with parked cars up and down the road. And it creates pinch point situations everywhere you go. Plus there's a lot of cyclists and pedestrian action there too.
But you've mentioned that the newest version of FSD, while it can deal with the Berkeley hills without any significant issues, it has like a weak point specifically here in San Francisco, right? Like the mapping issue.
I think the mapping issue is still the biggest thing, because, like, for example, if there's a U-turn in the navigation route and the intersection says no U-turn, as long as it's safe to do so, the car is going to try to do the U-turn.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I don't think it's looking at the signs and reading them like we are, at least yet. Yeah.
It's just taking the whole situation in and deciding what to do based on that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's including the signs, but not maybe focusing enough on them.
Well, I mean, it's hard to know what it's thinking.
Yeah.
This is a tough intersection. It's because, yeah, these people don't stop.
Yeah.
That's how intersections in San Francisco are.
Okay. This brake was maybe a little bit too harsh in my opinion. Like, could have been a little bit smoother.
Yeah,
But that's
well,
just like nitpicking at this point, right?
you should have tried older versions of FSD.
Yeah, I guess I'll never get to experience that.
You should take a human taxi around here and then tell me what you think.
Why would I do that? You know, when we've got Waymo and AI drivers going around.
Yeah, exactly. AI drivers everywhere here. But I also do think that's why Waymo set up shop here, and they started here first, is because it's a good proving ground.
Definitely. And there's so many of them as well. I thought that, you know, I would see one here and there, but I frequently see like 3 Waymos in the same intersection, which is something I didn't expect. Oh my God, this is like the steepest hill that I've ever sat in a car on.
You should, we might have to try going up the hill.
Hey, there's a Cybertruck over there.
Yeah. But it's extra scary when, like, you're going up a hill and there's a stop sign.
Let's do that.
And there's like cross traffic, and then you just, like, you literally just cannot see. And
I went up some steep hill on my first drive, but it wasn't as steep as this.
yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah, we'll have to go back.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah, we'll just drive around.
Okay.
We're going to a pretty interesting spot.
All right. Especially now with the traffic heating up after work, right?
Oh yeah, this is when people are the most pissed off.
Going from work.
Everybody's ready to get home. They're just not thinking about driving. They're probably watching a YouTube video on their dash.
Hopefully it's either your video or my video.
Oh, you know, for sure. Yeah. No, if it was one of my videos, they'd probably not be driving themselves.
They would at least be on FSD, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But God, it's gotten so good, man. Oh, look, bought before Elon went crazy.
Oh, that's the first time I'm seeing that.
Oh yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And I've seen, like, I've looked at most of the Teslas driving around and never noticed that before. So I guess even here in the bastion of the left, it's still.
Well, that's you know.
How does that work?
Political. That's mainly, yeah. It's tough. It's everything, you know, is on a pendulum and things swing back and forth. There used to be the people who cared about climate change. They were all about Tesla and EV and stuff, and now it's the people doing coal rolling on people. They're all about Tesla now, you know. So who knows what's going to happen next?
For sure.
It is really interesting, man. You look at the news coverage on stuff. Wild.
Oh, okay.
And that's another area where it's improved a lot. Like, that was, you know, tiny little tap on the brakes just to let you know,
I
okay.
didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's like, well, it lets you know, like, okay, I see it. But older versions, you know,
hard.
up to version 11 would probably brake pretty hard. Anytime it wasn't within, like, if the distance was too close, it would just kind of freak out and
Yeah,
brake.
And the same with pedestrians, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it would, like where we're going right now, version 11 would not be able to make it through. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I don't mean to say that. It would make it through eventually, because I pushed those things to the limits, those versions, and if you give it enough time, generally it'll figure it out. But the
Yeah.
thing is like you want to intervene way before that, because the car is doing something, like it's making computer mistakes.
You
It's
want it to be practical, basically.
yeah, you want to get to where you're going, and not have all these awkward situations happen. So yeah, I think that's the main thing about the lack of disengagements, is because it's just so smooth now, is you don't even feel the need to disengage.
Yeah.
Where if you knew, like in older versions, if you knew, like if that was about to happen and you saw it coming, I'd probably, like if I wasn't recording a video, I'd probably just disengage,
Yes.
because I knew what was coming. I knew there was going to be a hard break.
Yeah.
But now it's like you can just,
You can just let it.
yeah, you can just chill for the most part. It's just crazy people you have to worry about.
One of the points I made in my first impressions video today was that if you compare Waymo with FSD, I think it's funny that Waymo actually, especially on like acceleration and deceleration, feels more human because it's less perfect. You know, the stops feel like a normal human driver, whereas FSD feels so smooth that it doesn't even, it feels more superhuman than human.
Yeah,
for me.
Limo driver status,
And
for sure.
I'm not even sure how they can pull that off with like just sampling the best drivers. You know, they have to have some magic stuff in there to train it to be like better than everyone.
Yeah,
Because you can't just take the average of the best drivers and come up with this result, right?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a magic black box right now. We
Yeah.
know, like the things we do know is they definitely curate the data. They're not just using data from all drivers.
Yeah, sure. That would be a disaster.
Yeah, exactly. But we also don't know what's the criteria, like how much of the data is simulated versus like real, I guess, from actual drives. Because I know they have a really great simulator that they showed off.
Just pay attention to the stop. It's like you can't even notice, basically.
Yeah, so yeah, that's another
So
thing.
good.
One thing Waymo, I've taken quite a few trips in Waymo now. Waymo reminds me, like, I think of Waymo as if Tesla kept going along with their version 11 and their like manual programming of the full self-driving approach, I think it could have gotten to the point where it felt like Waymo. Like, in my opinion, Waymo is a very good version of that. Like a polished version of that,
Yeah.
that is actually able to be driverless. But when you're in there, some of the turns and some of the stopping and some of the acceleration is robotic, and you can kind of feel it. Where this one, there's like a nice, smooth roll off to the brakes. You know, like it does the majority of the braking first, and then it slowly lets off the brake pedal, just like easing to a stop. And that's where, you know, that's why I think once people actually try it, you know, like once driverless is released and people actually try it compared to Waymo, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this is it. Like,
That is my experience exactly, because I was terrified earlier today when I was taking my first test drive. Let me be perfectly honest when I say that I wouldn't be confident enough to drive that route myself, and I depended on the car to do it for me. So if it wasn't capable, then I'm not saying I would be screwed and that I wouldn't like get back to the Tesla dealership, but it definitely would be super challenging for me as someone who never has driven a car in the US before.
yeah. No, for sure.
Even though Teslas are super easy to drive, and
Yeah, you chose a great spot for your first drive in the US. San Francisco's rough, man. A lot of, like, I don't know, my mom hates driving here. She, like, refuses. just because people are just so aggressive on the road, you know?
And that is exactly my point, you know?
Yeah.
I, like, when I have to drive, even back home, it's usually, like, on the highway between cities, you know? Get from point A to point B through a straight line. But city driving is something I avoid most of the time and just use public transport, because it's actually good in Europe as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so going to one of the worst cities to drive on Earth, well, maybe we still have India and Sri Lanka and places like that too.
Yeah, they all have their flavor of crappy driving. They're all crappy for different reasons, you know. I think once full self-driving is driverless in India, we can officially call it solved.
we can call it level 6.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious, before something interesting happens here, what are your thoughts on FSD in China? Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, it is unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. Especially, I don't know if you knew this, but they're not allowed to collect data from China. So that system is used with the version 13 brain, and then they've added like publicly available pictures of streets and intersections and all that.
Do you think they just take YouTube videos of streets in China and then just use their simulator to use it to reconstruct those and like do the training in those?
Yeah, I mean, sounds like a great idea.
I think that would be the most logical approach.
We have no idea, and they're being extremely secretive, and I can understand it. Is because, you know, the last time they had those AI Day events, there was, you know, companies in China and other places who were trying to copy it exactly.
Oh,
you know, and they
for sure.
In the entire pipeline, you know what I mean? So I can understand why they're being secretive right now. But yeah, we have no idea. The only thing I know is it seems to be working. You know, we haven't had a major update since the middle of January. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the longest time ever since the original release that there's been this big of a gap between updates.
Yeah, I think that at this point there just must be V14 coming.
Yeah,
it's just going to be that, and it's just going to be the Robotaxi version. And I'm not sure if it's going to be unsupervised for regular people, but if it's going to still be supervised, that is just going to be a software nerf of that, basically. Even though it's going to be the unsupervised system running.
This is as clear as I've ever seen it. Usually this is
many more people.
Yeah, we'll see what it does at the end of the drive here, but yeah, usually this is
reasonable humans today.
No, yeah. Usually this is just littered with cars and pedestrians and stuff. But, you know, it's probably just the
time of day, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see what it does at the end of the rat here.
That's one thing I noticed about San Francisco, is that I expected it to be much more crowded. Like, the streets seem like super empty to me.
When did you come in?
Saturday, Sunday. Sunday was the first day that we went out, actually. The waves are huge today.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends, you know, if there's an event going on in the city or other thing. We'll see what it's gonna do here.
You're just gonna park? Yeah, because you said this at the end.
Oh, we're here. What a great parking job.
All right. So, is there like another?
Well, you want to go to that
challenging place close?
Not
here.
Not that I know of. We can always go to like Twin Peaks or something. I don't know. Let's just see what
Can it
does.
like climb all the way up? Have you tried that yet?
No, I haven't actually been to this location
Let's
yet. Yeah. This looks like an interesting route though.
It's gonna be your first time as well.
30 minutes? You got time?
Let's do it.
Right.
If you've got time, then
No, yeah, sure. That works for me. But yeah, about the training, it's kind of interesting. I've been thinking a lot about this because I think they have two different versions of self-driving right now. Like, we've heard them say they're going, you know, balls to the wall. They're gonna launch in June. But I think what they're probably doing is training for the cars with the additional camera. They've already said that the car that's going to launch first is
Model Y.
the new Model Y, and which is the only model they're selling right now that has a front bumper camera included, besides the Cybertruck, of course. But they can't,
That's a different form factor.
yeah, Cybertruck performs noticeably worse than the 3 and the Y.
I've heard.
Right now. So, I think the reason it's Y only is because of that front bumper camera, and I think we might get an update to full self-driving soon, but I don't know if it's going to be the one that's deployed on the Robotaxi. That might be its own thing because of that front bumper camera. You know what I mean?
Yes, but the new Model Ys might still get that one, right? Or do you think that...
Maybe.
But that's a really good...
And then my car will be obsolete again.
I've already told you it's the legacy Y,
Yeah.
But that's a really good speculation that they're training for the 9 cameras and not the 8 right now, and that's why they put them on the Cybercab. That would make perfect sense, actually.
Yeah, I also had that thought of maybe that's what hardware 5 is not brand new cameras in a completely different suite of hardware, but just a more beefy full self-driving computer plus that additional front camera.
Yeah.
Which allows for more training data, because people argued a lot about whether it would scale correctly, like whether if you just keep feeding it data, if it would get better and better, because a lot of people say there's limitations when you do that.
Seems like it does so far, right?
Yeah, I mean, so far at least, everybody's been predicting they're going to hit a limit, and but every few months, at least until lately, they've been updating it, and it's like, man, it's getting considerably better with every single update. So it doesn't seem like they've hit that limit yet. But I wonder if that's a thing that can happen, or if that's what they're experiencing right now. I think most of these questions are going to be answered in a few weeks.
Yeah. There's also like scaling in different ways, like the model size and also the camera resolution, for example, like all these things can improve, but I don't really think that, for example, increasing the camera resolution again would do that much of a difference now. Like there's like only so much detail you can extract from what's happening around you, right?
Yeah, I think the image you get out of the camera is probably a lot more important than the resolution. Everybody thinks resolution, but like these cameras seem to be really good at certain things and displaying things that are very hard to see.
And them also switching to like processing the raw photons instead of the, let's say, clipped image with overexposed highlights or whatever is also like a big plus in low light and in harsh light situations. And
yeah,
because it's not just about what you can see in the printed image on the screen. It's like when you've trained using the raw photon count, then you can really extract much more details than the human eye can see, basically.
Yeah, for sure. There was a clip I posted when I had a drive with James Dalma. Unfortunately, I had camera corruption and lost a bunch of the footage, but
yeah,
one of the
I
amazing
remember that one.
Yeah, one of the amazing things is we were going through this little alley and it was getting ready to pass this car, and then it stopped like suddenly, like more suddenly than usual, when we were like, what the heck? And then a second later somebody popped open the door.
Yeah.
And if you go back in the video, you can see the pedestrian on the inside kind of scooting over to that side of the car. But it's not something that either one of us picked up on.
Yes.
In the moment, So the camera's definitely taking in these little hints, and it's hard to know what it's thinking at any given time, because like I mentioned, I don't think the visualizations are connected anymore.
Definitely.
I think maybe the path planner is still showing what it wants to do, but besides that, I don't think the visualizations are doing anything.
That would make sense, like the path planner being connected, because it's pretty consistent and it usually lines up with what the car is actually doing. But shout out to James as well for actually explaining all of this to us.
Yeah.
Through all of the amazing videos and collaborations with...
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
It's because of him that I feel like I understand this at all.
Yeah, I don't understand any of it at all. Like the more I use AI to do things, the more scared I get of it. I'm not like, I just
Okay.
looks like the legacy system thought that we were going to collide there. Still have instances where the legacy like auto brake system
Yeah.
overrides self-driving.
Oh, interesting.
Had that happen a few
Interesting.
times. But yeah, I'm like genuinely concerned because I don't think anybody's really, I mean, people are talking about AI, I think, but like, I don't think even the experts are extremely scared
Yeah.
and are like, wait a second, like, where does this lead to? And
And everybody is like underestimating the speed of the progress.
exactly.
As well.
It's just like we keep thinking that, oh, okay, this is what it is now. And then, we keep thinking we're at the end of the graph of where AI is accelerating, and all of a sudden there's this another giant step that it does.
Yes.
And it hasn't stopped.
It's just accelerating.
And it's
actually.
getting to the, yeah, exactly. And it's getting to the point now where like Turing test is a joke,
Sure.
like
And they're moving the goalpost as well.
Yeah, exactly.
When someone's talking about a Turing test today, there's so many nuances they're adding there.
Oh, I know. But yeah, you can find, you can force it to struggle, and it can struggle with really dumb things, but for the most part, see, that's funny, it didn't even slow down for that one, even though it saw it, because it's on the side.
It wasn't really necessary.
No, not really. Yeah, man, it stresses me out sometimes.
And like
A lot of the time.
a funny mistake people do nowadays is that for example, someone might have seen your video from 2 years ago, and they just expect that everything is still like that because it's been just 2 years. So what could have possibly improved,
Yeah.
So that's like one of the things I have to explain to people is that no, what was last month is last month, and what's
Yeah.
now is now, man. Like it's getting so much better, so much faster.
Yeah, it really is wild.
And I feel like Tesla is, what I find super interesting about Tesla is that they can kind of apply the scaling of AI not just in the real world, but through hardware as well, Like, for example, their huge focus on manufacturing and the fact that they just might be able to print a couple million Robotaxis a year a few years from now is just much more interesting to me than training a new version of ChatGPT to be smarter,
Yeah. I've always thought of
And then there's Optimus as well.
Yeah. I've always thought about, like, everybody says Tesla's overpriced or blah, blah, blah. I've always thought of Tesla as the bet on real world AI. I think not a lot of people realize that Tesla, in my opinion, is the leader in what I would
Sure.
consider real world AI, about predicting the future, about what happens in the real world, how the car is reacting to things that,
And it's such a hardcore use case as well for like the first iteration of it, right? Because I've heard people say something that I agree with, that humanoid robots are much lower risk development platform than a car that just drives through the real world and can actually hurt people really easily. If anything goes wrong, it can hurt people inside the car, outside the car, and it has to be perfect before it's even released. Whereas like a robot, unless you put it in a home, if you start in the factory in very like controlled environment, they can just scale that up so much faster and like move fast and break things,
yeah.
which you can't really do with FSD.
Yeah.
Because if you were to break anything, then it could be game over.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. I fully expect them not to have a perfect product. And even the foreseeable future. Driving is just inherently dangerous, and it's not something that most people think about because, I don't know how much humans crash once every 500,000 miles or so, but like when it happens, it's very bad. And because there's so many humans on the road, it happens all the time. You know, there's 40,000 people or something dead in just the US alone, like every single year. And I think the goal should be to get that number down as much as possible, but like expecting perfection, I think is rough. And I think that's what the news agencies are going to cling to. Like I can totally imagine some minor fender bender happening where the car didn't even know that it hit something and just continues on. It's like Tesla hit and run,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, like, or like, you know, tries to do a U-turn and gets stuck in a ditch. It's like, oh, Tesla thinks the ditch is the charging station.
Yeah.
Elon Musk to blame, you know, like any little thing the car, like if you just go to one of these road closures and you ask the construction worker how many crazy incidents they've had today of humans doing wild stuff around their construction site, like it's just constant, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people really understand that. So I think upon release it will be better than a human, even if the news is telling you otherwise. Like it's kind of it's so tough to nice. That was
Really quickly through yellow.
well, the guy I don't know if you noticed, the guy behind us was tailgating us, and he was like
Oh.
forcing its way up to go through that yellow.
So we couldn't really
Yeah, so
do
that's
anything else.
yeah, and I have noticed that it behaves much differently if there's like a car directly behind you. Like if there's a truck tailgating you and the light turns yellow, it's not gonna slam on the
No,
brakes
sure.
like other times where it might. But it's definitely taking all that into
That is
consideration.
like really advanced behavior. That's like a few levels, you know.
Yeah, it's like a human would do. We kind of got stuck in here.
Oh, this is interesting. Just thinking about it. Really close.
But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting rollout, and I definitely plan on making a video on my.
You're gonna be
This
there,
guy's
huh?
way over his lane. Oh, there is no. Oh wait, yeah, there is. These streets are pretty confusing.
Oh.
Where in Austin?
Yeah.
If I'm invited, heck yeah. I don't know if they're doing an event.
But even if they're not doing an event, like you're planning on going to Austin 1st of June and just praying for it
maybe.
to be released.
Yeah, maybe. That might be a strategy. If I go there, I want to ride in the car.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I definitely want to.
Well, that was my goal with arriving in San Francisco as well.
Yeah, well, I had to let you experience a real stress test. Flying all this way, 6,000 miles. And going from regular autopilot to version 13 is crazy.
It is just... It feels that I'm gonna, you know, pinch myself and wake up every time, like, I actually try to fully process it. It hasn't... my brain hasn't really fully get it, you know?
Mine either. Like it's honestly a big surprise. It's the amount of progress that it's happened in a really short amount of time has been unbelievable.
Like, especially the last year has been
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
And 4 months of that were like 0 updates. So I can't even imagine what's coming next.
yeah. I don't know what's coming next, man. It could just be another little dot update of like minor fixes
I don't
and
think so.
improvements.
I don't really think
We could.
so.
It could be. I mean, if they're going all in on Robotaxi right now, and that's what they're using all the training servers, they might have some crazy super advanced model that's really good at driving in Austin.
Do you think they would do that?
I don't think they'd release it to the fleet.
But do you think they would train a model that's somehow specific to Austin instead of just doing it the same way they have been doing since version 12?
Well, I don't think that, for example, I don't think that the FSD version 13 dot blah 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 that's running in China, even though the version number is the same. Oh, that guy should not be in that lane. Even though the version number might be the same, I don't think it's the same actual version
Yeah.
of full self-driving. It's a tailored version. It probably has the version 13 base, you know.
There might be like there's a pothole and we avoid it.
Barely.
Nice.
Barely. I don't think it knew that one was there.
It might be like pre-trained, like the hard part of the training, like the
Yeah.
pre-training is the longest one, and then it might be like fine-tuned on
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. They give it, like, I would say they would give it extra data or a layer of polish on top, because I
Yes.
think the AI is much like a human, where it's looking at these intersections like we do. Like, oh, okay, this is where the lane lines are, this is where the turn lanes are, this is blah, 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 this is a crosswalk. And it's doing that, you know, kind of by itself instead
Internally.
and instead of being programmed to stop, like, oh, here's the line, here's this. So I think that if... Oh, it changed its... Oh, I thought we were... Okay, hold on. Somebody reversing down the street here. Okay, never mind. So sorry, I get sidetracked here. But I think if they've made a new base of full self-driving, like a version 14, I believe that base will be using the front camera.
Sure, yeah.
Which is why I don't think... Like, I don't know... Like, I could be completely wrong about this, but I don't think it would be easy just to release a version 14 that doesn't use the front camera. Like, I think the cars that are getting up those updates are going to have the front camera. So maybe Model Y is going to be the only one getting this crazy new full self-driving update that uses the front camera, and we're all just going to have to wait for like a retrofit or something. Because I think, like, even on this car, I think the full self-driving computer has an extra slot available to plug in a camera.
Oh,
So I think the retrofit is definitely possible. And same thing with like the Highland Model 3. Like when it was released in the images, we saw that from bumper camera, and it seems like they got rid of it last minute. So if they're tuning a model that uses that, I don't know if we're gonna see it on our cars anytime soon.
that would be like a big move and not a really good PR, because, you know, most people just don't have the new Model Y, and they would be sidetracked like in a similar way that people with hardware 3 are right now.
Oh yeah, but that's technology.
Like, they would do like another level on top of that.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about pissing people off. I think they're worried about getting self-driving working in
Well, then
the
that's,
place that they just told everybody they would. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a giant version 14 right around the corner that works with the cars that everybody has right now, and they don't need to go buy a Model Y. But I have a feeling if they're really all in, then it might take a little bit longer than everybody's expecting. But who knows, man?
And what do you think about the Phantom new affordable cars? Do you think they're just gonna be a low spec Model 3 and Y? And if it's gonna be a low spec Model 3, then to your earlier point, do you think they're gonna put the front bumper cam there?
That's
What's your best theory on that?
I think all new models moving forward will have a front bumper camera.
That's including the more affordable
I think
ones.
the new, more affordable cars are going to have front bumper camera, and I have a feeling that may be why they've been potentially delayed. Is because, you know, like if they start like adding a front bumper camera to a car seems like just not that big a deal, but when you're in production, it's actually extremely difficult, and it's actually, you know, they're trying to produce these for as little as possible and sell them for as little as possible to keep the cars moving and to get more cars on the road and all that. And if they designed these new cars to use the front bumper camera, like I'm sure they designed the new Model Y to use the front bumper camera, like I think releasing them right now would immediately make people reconsider purchasing any car that doesn't have, like, I think the Model 3s, the Model S's, the Model X's would kind of go stagnant. But I have no idea. I'm not in that whole realm or anything.
For sure, but I think it's a really good speculation because it just makes sense on all fronts, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
I couldn't see it any other way, because I really doubt that they've just added the front bumper cam to the new Model Y just for you as a human to be able to see better when you're parking.
They're
That's
using
just...
it. They're definitely going to be using it. And there's situations where it does come in handy. Like, I definitely think they could make a car that drives better than a human using just the B-pillar cameras, and I've been pretty adamant about that because it's, you know, it's not that much different than what a human sees out of the car, except it's looking in all directions at once when we can only look in one direction. But there is situations, okay, I guess we're in the correct lane here. This is a confusing intersection. But there are situations where it comes in handy, especially here. Like when you're nudging your way out from a stop sign and there's box trucks double parked on the side of the road, and you're kind of nudging your way forward. Like the whole front of the car has to be visible in order, you know, for other cars to see and then avoid you. And that's how humans drive. They kind of just nose in, and then, you know, other cars react to that.
You also lean forward a bit to see better. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Self-driving can't lead forward a bit. Like, technically, one thing that really frustrates me is that with the hardware 4, they didn't make the repeater cameras just slightly wider field of view.
Yeah.
Because they're a much wider field of view than hardware 3, but they're about 10 or 15 degrees off from being able to see completely sideways. And I think if those cameras were able to see completely sideways, there'd be no need for a front bumper camera. And like, I don't understand. And that would be a much easier retrofit, by the way, too. You know, just replacing the cameras on the exterior of the car seems like such a no-brain thing that I have to be wrong about it. You know what I mean?
Maybe,
like, there has to be a reason they didn't do that.
Maybe there's such a thing as like too much overlap between the cameras that might be causing some issues to them. You know, like if the side cameras see too much of the same that the front cameras see, it might be a similar issue to what it did when they were still using radar.
I think so. I think most of those problems were manually human programmed problems where you'd see the jumpy cars on the visualizations, like especially when the car moved, or when something moved from the B-pillar camera to the repeater camera, you could see it shift back and forth a bunch of times as the computer was trying to figure out where exactly it was. But I don't think that's a problem anymore with the new way that they're doing it. I really don't. I think that they could get away with doing that. I'm fully expecting them to develop a system that can be applied to any car where you can have cameras at different heights, and it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect.
Well, they definitely have to do that if they ever want to license FSD, right? Because it would just not be practical to
or else it would take them
manufacturers to have to like conform to this camera placement.
Exactly. They'd either have to confirm or they'd have to collect data for years while the cars aren't self-driving, and then, you know, like develop a whole separate system for it, and that just makes no sense. The Tesla way is efficiency, and I think that's probably what they're going to go for. But like I said, I really have no clue what I'm talking about. There's people who are much smarter than me that are working on this stuff, and I'm sure there's a very good reason they didn't give a wide view to the repeater cameras.
For sure.
But it just like, that just was like, oh, so close. You know, it can just, if it just was 10 more degrees, you could see left and right.
An interesting point.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Because, I mean, it seems like they're doing it, so. And I hope I'm wrong about the majority of that I said. I hope version 14 comes to my car very soon, because there is, I don't know if you saw the Tesla app updates, but there was a bunch of stuff in there regarding no hold summon. You know, they're bringing summon where you don't have to hold the button down, and they're developing the Robotaxi app. It seems like all the stuff is actually in the Tesla app now.
Yeah, I saw that. They're just getting ready.
Oh yeah.
You know what's funny about?
They're definitely getting ready.
Actually, smart summon. We've got it in Europe, but it's limited to 6 meters, which is like just a few feet. So, and it's like using a GPS tracker to judge that. So it's like basically unusable. The car goes like, poof, and it stops, and it says maximum amount of distance reached.
Really?
Yeah, we've tried to do some torture tests using that, and like, you know, at least like drag it along a shopping mall parking lot, and it was gruesome. You might want to watch some of my videos about that.
Yeah.
We pissed a lot of people off there.
So after the car drives a little bit, it'll just
Stop, and you have to pick the target again, and it will also like put itself into park, and maybe put on sentry mode as well. So you just have to like restart the whole thing, and it takes 5 to 6 seconds to get going again.
Yikes.
And that is the actually smart summon we have in Europe.
Yeah, it's not quite actually smart.
It's not
Yeah.
quite actually nothing.
Yeah.
But maybe
that sucks.
Maybe the new update might change that if they're adding like you don't have to actually hold the button, and you can just press it. But I doubt it. I think we're gonna get like full FSD supervised before we get an actually smart summon.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is the end of the road.
Yeah, this is it. We're here.
All right. So now it's a quick hike up to the Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I guess.
And this is where we end our video.
All right.
So thank you so much for accommodating me. And
My pleasure, sir.
I think this is gonna be a banger. Go subscribe to AI Driver, which I feel like 95% of you already are.
Yeah, subscribe to this guy. He has some good videos. I was up late last night watching him.
Great.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
All right. Until then, buddy. And that's it.
That's it.
Where to now?
Well,
Where are you guys staying?
We might want to, if it's not too far, we would like to take a look at the Twin Peaks. So let's do it.
Forward. Okay, there you go.
It's almost quite a chill drive, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean
That's what
most of them
mostly
are now.
happens.
There's not a lot of drama. Like we were able to carry out a conversation, and it's mostly fine.
Yeah, I think if I were to make a dramatic video, I would mostly use the stuff that we recorded before the actual video, with like the lady stepping in front of your car, and I probably will use that if you give me the raw footage. If you don't mind, if there's some like overlap between what I put out and you put out.
Yeah.
What is
I'll
it
just
gonna do now?
give you the raw file.
Is it actually going to reverse?
No, it's gonna wait for this. I mean, it could. Oh man, it's so nervous.
This is.
Come on, you can do it. You can make it. Come on.
Did you nudge it or not?
No, I'm not nudging at all. Sorry. I mean, all he has to do is pull over into that very empty spot, and we could have got by. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but we can't like drive through the bushes. They're turning the wheel.
Yeah. They're making space.
There we go.
Oof, that's pretty close.
Yeah. It's the San Franciscan way. Should have folded the mirrors, I guess.
We're nearing the deep end here, but there's still a few interesting moments left in the drive, so be sure to finish strong, okay? To reflect on this experience once more, I honestly learned so much. Not even the hundreds of FSD videos I've seen prepared me for the real thing, and how quickly I would get used to perfectly smooth driving. I'm not exaggerating when I say it changed my life, because every time I've sat in a car since, I've been unhappy about the comfort level of the drive and have been noticing small details, catching myself thinking, man, FSD would have handled this so much better and smoother. Hopefully, European regulators can come to their senses and greenlight this amazing technology soon. And I really, really hope that you, the viewer, who actually sat through all of this, now see how this software can change the world for the better. And apart from increasing comfort and convenience, do the most important thing of all: save lives by reducing needless accidents, preventing injuries, and all of the unnecessary horrors that happen on our roads. This doesn't need to happen every year. 1 million people do not need to die on the roads every year. And the only thing that can prevent that is that we surrender our driving, our love of driving, to the robots, to the artificial intelligence. And the best one there is, there's only one: Tesla full self-driving.
But actually, the new Model Y stock is also really simple. And it also doesn't have like the press and stuff, right? Have you tried the new Model Y yet?
No, I haven't.
No, you have to try that.
Yeah, I was offered a
for a
weekend
test
test drive. Yeah, when somebody from Tesla reached out and offered, but I haven't taken them up on it
The
yet.
stock is like a little bit smaller, and I feel like it only has 2 positions as well.
Oh, interesting. Turn signals?
Turn signals.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to...
And there's just a single stock, so.
Old people were pissed off they didn't have stocks.
Yeah.
Honestly, after driving the Model 3 around, you really don't need stocks, especially if you have self-driving.
Sure. That's the main.
Car just does all the signaling for you.
Oh, this is cool. So there's peak 1 and there's peak 2?
Yeah, I've never... I've driven through here before, but I've never hiked up the mountain.
Do you want to go with us?
I'm good.
Is it
You can
like,
go. I'll wait for you. But then I gotta drop you off and head back.
Yeah, sure.
Because I do have some packing to do. I'm leaving for Idaho tomorrow.
Oh, is it like a long drive, or are you flying?
No, we're gonna be driving.
Well, you're
like
not going to be driving.
Yeah, yeah, both of us. So it's like a 10-hour drive-ish.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna be leaving very early in the morning.
Okay. So,
This isn't even the same place that I thought I was taking you, to be honest about it.
This Polestar almost looks like the new Model Y from the back with the
Yeah,
light bar.
light bar is the thing now. You know who Polestar is?
It's Volvo, right?
Yeah.
Swedish. Nice.
Ta-da!
Good parking job.
Well, not really.
I may be too optimistic. That's one of your best, I think, values is how objective you stay in your videos. Like that you're not
thanks.
as fanboyish as I tend to be. You know.
Yeah, I just know there's a lot to do before everything is solved. As close as it feels sometimes.
That's remarkable to stay objective when you see how awesome it really is. So
Yeah, no.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna chill here.